Good morning and welcome to the wonderful world of Des Moines. Now just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Not sure where to start tonight. Don't have a lot to talk about. You probably noticed. Oh yes, Joe, show your shirt. You'll see it again in the video because
Big Thunder Mountain.
Craig and Joe made buttered Cheerios tonight, which you'll see later on in the video.
Which right now is, what the heck is buttered Cheerios?
Yeah, I'd like to say it's an old family recipe.
Watching.
Yeah, keep watching. It's kind of got a story behind it. It is one of the things, when we went on vacation one time, we always stayed together in a house in Florida. Stephanie wanted a night where we made all the things that she remembered from childhood that were unusual. It was buttered Cheerios, corned beef hash from a can with crackers, and deviled Spam with crackers and spray cheese. Those were, they were delightful. They are still delightful. We don't ever have them very much anymore.
I got a huge can of corned beef hash out in the garage. Makes me want to make it tomorrow.
And Craig likes it a lot too.
Oh, yeah, we eat it with Ritz crackers or
Waverly's.
Or this cracker, that cracker.
It definitely has a very distinct smell when you make it.
It smells like making dog food.
It does.
The dogs go crazy.
It's like the canned chicken.
He's cooking dog food.
It's like the canned chicken smells like cat food, I think, too. And Stephanie used to love that, too. We got this question that I'm a little stumped on. What did you learn from your parents that you use as grandparents? I have a hard time thinking of anything really. The only thing I can just maybe an influence, my mom, she would always let my kids play with like her teacups from her teacup collection. My mom always valued the kids more than her things. And I'm a lot that way. I'm not worried about things getting broken, or if it's something I don't want to get broken, I just keep it put away. But I don't even really think I have anything like that. And my mom was always very active with us as kids, like doing activities, and she would roll down the hill with us, those kind of things. That's more Joe's thing, though, the physical activity. I feel like I've modeled myself after many other grandparents. I will say that. We have some good friends that we've told you about that helped us a lot with Craig and Stephanie and Bennett when they were younger. I always admired how they parented and grandparented. And some people that I know. It's the fun things, doing the fun things with your grandchildren, the things that they'll remember. And my mom and dad, they definitely did some of those things with our kids. I'll let you talk about your parents.
Yeah, of course, as a guy, my dad was probably the biggest influence on me that way. Dad was the fun one. He would go down in their basement and play like he was a monster chasing all of the grandkids. He'd do it with one, or if there was 5 of them there.
Craig loved that too.
Yeah, oh yeah, and he was so good with Craig. Holy mackerel! He would watch him on Sundays when we went to church, and a lot of times I didn't even realize what was going on. He would get Craig, and they would go out and they'd get in his pickup, and he would drive him all around town showing him stuff. And he thought, I'm helping him learn. He'd take him by 3M. He'd actually drive him into the parking lot and point, this is where I work. This is where your dad works, and your Uncle Jeff and your Aunt Nikki. And he'd do that and take him down by the park, and if there wasn't anybody there, which back then there almost was always somebody, but he said there was a couple times there wasn't anybody there, they'd get out and he'd go. Said, Craig didn't really want to, we talked about that, didn't really want to do swings or anything, but he was more than happy, to just jaunt and kind of run around, and he'd call him back and they'd go back in, and then he'd take him up by the square talking about the courthouse and the movie theater and everything, anything you could think of. So he was just good. He was really good for Craig. And when he was at their house, he didn't, the same thing until he got older. And I think that's the thing. I hope we don't really get that way, but it seems like when people get older, I think they just wear out. And,
well, I think things get on your nerves more easily.
Yeah, and it does with me, you know. And Nancy would tell you, I got a temper, and I wish I didn't. And you don't want to show that around your grandkids, and I do once in a while. But Dad, I can't ever remember him losing his cool or getting upset about anything, you know, around the kids and everything. My mom kind of did. My mom would get upset.
Well, she got a lot.
Yeah, she got that way.
I don't think she felt that good a lot of times.
Yeah, and I'm hoping, you know, because of, you know, it's at me, I don't get that way. You know, that's my big prayer, is that
the negativity of older. I feel like people, as they get older, they become more negative for one. Maybe because they're alone a lot of times, and that they don't have a lot of things to think about. I don't know. I've tried to figure it out why you see that a lot in people as they get older.
Yeah,
they don't have as much left in their life, because, you know, when you get older, your kids stop coming around as much, and
that's what my dad, he said that was his worst thing was loneliness. He said, you know, and well, there's all sorts of story to that I can't get into.
I forgot about, though, how when I remember Craig, when he went to your mom and dad's house, he had like a routine that your dad did with him. I can't remember. I remember the moped was part of it.
Yep. Dad had one of those everybody had them back then. They were yellow, green, and orange, I think, were the only colors. Those old Honda Expresses, 50cc ones. Remember that? They had a little rack on the back that you weren't really supposed to sit on, but little kids could. But Dad, up until he about couldn't ride, Craig was a big kid, and he'd be on the little part of that like bike seat that was on there. And Craig would take up almost the whole thing, and Dad's hanging on, and he'd run him around in their yard. Didn't care about his grass, you know. And Dad was particular about his grass. He killed dandelions and everything. Till his dying day, he hated dandelions. But he'd take him down the street and bring him back up, and he had all sorts of stuff that he would do. And it wasn't just Craig; it was with all the kids.
Oh yeah,
you know? Craig was treated just as equal at both of our parents as any of the other grandkids were.
Oh yeah, we had wonderful grandparents for our kids.
So that's, I guess, you know, inclusion. You know, to make sure, as we get older and get more grandkids, that every grandkid knows that you love them just as much.
There's no favorites.
Yeah. Grandparents, it's their favorite grandchild should be the one that they're with right at that exact moment. And that's how that grandkid should feel. Just as special can be. And then the next one comes in and they feel the same thing. So,
For sure.
And my rant.
Well, there's a couple of questions for Joe.
Oh, okay.
One is, they want to know what Joe thinks about New Balance shoes.
Well, I know about New Balance shoes. I know the internet and everything, that you always see, you know, old guys in New Balance, white New Balance shoes, and I don't know where the infatuation came with older guys and getting New Balance shoes.
Well, I think they're supposed to be really comfortable.
They're walking shoes. They New Balance really advertises for walking.
And aren't they
shoes.
the ones that like are really good for wide feet, if I remember right?
I don't know. I've never owned a pair of New Balance shoes. I remember when they first came out, they were actually a sports shoe, for basketball and everything. And I can remember a lot of guys, you know, that were my age that would have those for basketball, but they kind of lost favor and everything. I'm a Skechers man.
Well, you also have On-Clouds.
Yeah, but that just recently.
Yeah, because I accidentally ordered men's instead of women's.
Yeah,
so
she didn't want to send them back, so they became mine.
They fit Joe.
Yeah. That and I don't like tying my shoes. As I get older.
Who does?
I've got way too many shoes for a guy, tennis shoes and everything. I've got a couple of pair of Asics that almost look like they're brand new that I probably need to throw away, because, you know, soles on tennis shoes get hard after a while.
You have a hard time throwing things away.
I'm a
clothing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You still had some No Fear shirts not that long ago.
No, that was quite a while ago.
Was it before what was it? You cut something out the other day. What was that?
That I threw away?
Yeah. No, it doesn't know fear.
Oh,
I can't remember.
I threw a couple Tommy Bahama t-shirts away that I'd had since, I don't know when. Probably, I think
He never outgrows them,
Yeah.
though, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, that's a nice thing if he's just stayed the same size. Yeah. And large t-shirt or like Hawaiian shirts, I wear a size medium. So not very many guys do. So I always had an easy pickings on that. So I could get them. So.
And the last question is, do we have any problems with rodents in our bird feeders?
Not very much actually anymore. After the last couple of years, the first year I had chipmunks like crazy around here when we moved in. I can't believe the amount of chipmunks when I walk the perimeter of my house. And I know you got Chip and Dale, right? And they're cute.
They
but
are
remember,
cute.
that's a cartoon. The real ones, from a distance, they look cute, but they are nothing but a rodent. And remember that. They are nothing but a rodent. They get in and they dig along your foundation and everything. And where we've got a walkout basement on the back of our house, that means we got one side of our basement that is not protected by earth for the elements. So I got to make sure my other three sides are good and tight for the wintertime. And the one side of my house, man, there was holes all over there and everything. So I had to wage some war on some chipmunks. And it took, the first year it didn't look like I was ever going to win, but then I turned the tide, and the Ukrainians need to follow what I did. I was highly outnumbered, and I've won that war.
We'll see. There'll be a revenge of the chipmunks one of these days.
Yeah. But yeah, they were all over. All I heard was just chirp, 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 chirp. And I hardly hear any chirping anymore. So
There was a lot of chirping. They used to drive the dogs crazy.
Oh yeah. And that was another thing. The dogs couldn't go outside, and Bernie would sit and bark at the fence and try to get under it and everything. The entire time he was out there, he'd forget to take a leap because all he wanted to do was chase chipmunks along that fence and everything, or get one trapped underneath the deck where the hot tub is or something. He'd be underneath there trying to get them, and not knowing they got a hole they shot down in, and they popped up someplace else and looked at him and went and went under the fence and got away from him. So yeah, rodents are horrible though. I mean, you got to do something to get rid of them. I got a metal box on a big deck box on there, and that's to keep the chipmunks, and I've had trouble with some mice and everything. To keep those, you don't have to worry about them chewing through it. And even raccoons, they were opening it up. And if I forget to lock it every once in a while, I'd look down in there and the feeders would be just all knocked off, and you could tell 3 or 4 raccoons got in there and ate all the feed they could find out of it. Stupid things. So, and they're rodents too, in my book.
Yeah.
We got possums around here too, but they
we see
they don't really
possums all
bother
the
me.
time.
Possums are slow, and possums get a bad rap because possums don't.
They're not cute.
They're ugly, in their own way. They're not bad. When I caught one in a live trap that wasn't more than that big, and he was cute.
Oh yeah, the baby was.
Yeah, he was cute as a button. And it was funny because I took him out in the front yard because I wasn't gonna relocate him because I figured he's still pretty small. His mom could have been around, so I just dumped him out, and he plopped down on the parking out there. He was dead, of course. And that's what he wanted me to think. And in about 20 minutes, he crept off into the weeds, so, and next to us. So, yeah, rodents suck. They just, but you can't get rid of them. You can just try to control them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They are fun to watch sometimes.
Not really. Not ever.
So I think that's the end of our questions for tonight. Had a very quiet day today, and I'm sure you noticed that I got the video out late today. The girls spent the night last night. They always do on Wednesday night, and I was just very tired. And the only way I can get my video out on those nights is to stay up late, and I just couldn't stay up. So I had to do it today, and then doing that with the girls here, that's a little bit tricky. They want they just get settled, and then it's Mima. But we had a fun day. Craig had some fun with Livy. They colored. Craig bought some markers the other day. He wanted to color with Livy, and they had a good time with that. Craig got a little upset because Livy tore the page in the coloring book, and he was going to go. He didn't want to color anymore. I don't know why that made him so upset, but then Livy said, Craig made me sad. And,
Craig hurt my feelings.
Yeah, hurt my feelings. And then Craig apologized, and
then it was okay.
Then it was okay
for both of them.
Yeah, they colored. Craig colored for a long time for Craig, like, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes at least. And he colored several pictures. I didn't realize he's been coloring so much, because when I opened up the coloring book, a lot of the pages had been colored.
Well, he'd had that coloring book since we lived in Knoxville.
Oh, that's why.
And he was in a phase at home.
Yeah.
It was after Bennett, we had moved his PC out of the way and everything.
Yeah,
and
Craig had his own other little...
And then he had another little desk there, and that's where he sat, and he would color.
He goes in phases, but he was really enjoying it today.
Now he's got happy colors on his phone, so he likes doing that.
Yeah, that's...
And I'll tell you what, that is such good therapy for Craig. If you haven't got that downloaded on one of your kids' devices, I'd highly recommend that. It's 100% free, and you can buy some pictures, but the nice thing is like every day there's like 3 or 4 more photos or pictures come in, and it's not just Disney. It's all sorts of stuff and everything, and it's just like a paint by number. And I had it on a tablet for him where it'd be bigger, but he didn't like it. He had to have his phone. But man, you hear Craig, he'll be in his room if you come in there, and all you'll hear is.
And you'll ask him to do something. He's like, "Oh, I have to finish my picture.
I have to finish this," and it might be 20 minutes before he's done, because they're pretty detailed photos and everything. But that's nice that it's color by number, and so he just colors it in. He doesn't have to worry about the lines or anything like that. But it's good therapy for him. It's good motor skills. There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to
out of
see he found something else that he liked to do.
And
besides...
he found that at Dayhab. One of the other kids had it, and he was infatuated. Came right home asking about it.
Yeah, that was a first.
Yeah.
Craig has 2 apps he uses on his phone: Happy Colors and Life 360. And he likes to use Life 360 to track us if we're gone.
He knows where we're at.
If I'm gone or if Joe's gone, he always knows where we're at. He'll be like, "Why is Dad at Fairway?"
Yeah, you can't sneak a trip into McDonald's. Or anything like
he'll come home. I'll walk in the door and he'll say, "What did you get at McDonald's?" Like, he knew I went to McDonald's.
Yeah.
So I think that's all we have for today. So we'll just take you on into the next part of the video, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Peace.
Livy and Craig are coloring with their new markers that Craig picked out for them. Looks like Craig's coloring a nice dragonfly. And Livy's going to color in this dot book with just a regular marker, I think. You're doing a great job, Craig. What kind of a dog do you think that is?
It's Red Rose Scottish Terrier.
Yeah. Craig's so good at coloring. Josie gets to color today, too. She asked for purple.
I know. And I asked it for red.
Yeah, you did. Livy's doing a really good job, too, coloring with her dots. I said, you're doing a good job coloring with your dots.
Okay.
The dot markers are really great. The girls both love them. No, you're not. And look how good Josie's doing. Uh-oh. Josie's dotting herself. Okay. Intervention required.
All of my pictures on a flip.
There's Livy's elephant picture all done. And now she wants to...
my other picture?
Show me the pictures you colored today.
I colored this twist and turn one.
It's very good. I saw some other things you were coloring earlier, though. Oh, there's the dragonfly you were coloring. You've colored a lot in this book.
Yeah.
Where's the Scottish Terrier? Oh, it's back further.
There it is.
Oh, I like it. That's a great job, Craig.
I feel all rosy.
I didn't know you were coloring so much.
Yum.
I like it.
Yum.
All right. What are you doing, Craig?
Having myself an apple.
What all have you been doing today?
Coloring pictures.
What did you do after you colored your pictures?
Paddle.
Yeah, you're paddling in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to do now?
Take a rest.
You're just going to rest now?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you have for breakfast this morning?
Raisin bran.
And what'd you have for lunch?
Ham and beans.
Yeah. Had the rest of the ham and beans, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many days are left on our countdown?
22.
It looks like we're on SpongeBob. Who's your favorite SpongeBob character?
SpongeBob.
Can you give me one of his catchphrases?
I'm ready.
What have you been watching today?
Top 10 creepiest costume characters at Disney parks.
Is Jessica Rabbit one of them?
Mm-hmm.
What's the number one? Do you know?
Mickey and Minnie.
They're the creepiest?
No.
Oh. We got these Disney Doorables today at Ross, and Craig decided Livy could have them, but she wants Craig to help her open them.
It's one of Ariel's sisters.
I got one too.
Oh, you get it out there. Turn it around so we can see it, Craig. There it is.
I think this is Ariel.
You think so?
Who's this one?
Mulan.
Who's in this one?
You want to see?
Mulan.
No, not yet. I know.
Okay.
This
And
one's
there's
gonna be for me.
Mulan.
This is.
I thought these were Disney villains.
It's Morgana.
Morgana? Let me see.
Oh, where's mine?
Or maybe it was Ursula.
Oh, is this
Oh.
mine?
It's Morgana.
I'm not sure.
This one?
Yep, you can open that one, Livy.
It's Ursula.
Oh, who's that? Who is it, Craig?
Snow White.
That's what I thought. Let's see.
Snow White. She's the
Snow
fairest.
White. Better get it out.
It might be a silver. It's not like. What?
Stitch.
Oh, it's Stitch.
What in the world?
Miss
You want to see him, Craig? Do you know Craig can talk like Stitch, Livy?
Bugger.
Oh, where's this one?
Oh, there's still one left. Okay.
This is one more.
Here goes.
This one is going to be me.
That one's for you. Okay.
It's Happy. It's one of the seven dwarfs.
I want Ariel.
Oh, I don't think we got Ariel this time. Oh, is there another one?
What in the world? What's happening?
Seven dwarfs.
Oh. Which one is it?
Bashful.
Oh. Is that all of them?
I thought it was. No, this one.
Oh, still one more. Okay.
Then I'll quit.
Yeah. If we get all of them open, then you can go back upstairs.
I'm going to play with them in here because this will be their house.
Here you go, Livy.
This is Ariel. What is this?
It's another Stitch.
What in the world?
Is it the same Stitch or a different one?
It's a different one.
Oh.
This is ridiculous.
Okay, great. You guess you're done.
I'm going in one of
You gonna play with them in the little house, Livy?
yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is Craig A. Vanaver here, and today we're making buttered Cheerios.
Butter Cheerios.
And Butter Cheerios is an old recipe that coincidentally Joe and I had both made, but hardly anyone else has ever heard of.
Yeah.
When Joe said he made Butter Cheerios, well, I think he asked if I wanted some. He was going to make some one night, and I was so surprised because I didn't think anyone else knew about Butter Cheerios.
You knew she loved me then.
There was actually the recipe on the back of a box, I think, at one time.
Years ago. I don't think it was even on the box. I think it was just on the side of the box. And I don't know where, I don't know how long you guys have been making it.
Well, I only learned about them from one of my friends that I worked with at Hardee's at one time. I was at her house, and she made buttered Cheerios, and that's the first time I ever heard of them.
Yeah, I was pretty sure my mom had invented them. Because, well, we didn't have that much money when we were kids. And my dad, that's what he had for breakfast all the time, was Cheerios. We had Cheerios in the house all the time. We never didn't have Cheerios. So that was something that was readily available to make something, and she knew it was better for us than just, making popcorn in the pan or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even though you're putting butter on it, at least Cheerios are vitamin fortified.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, Craig, are you going to help me?
Yeah.
It's a very simple recipe.
Yeah, it's very
So
simple.
what's the first thing we're going to do?
Butter in the pan.
Yes. We have 1 stick of butter.
Yeah, and I don't put it on super high. I let that butter cook slow. You don't want to burn the butter.
Like
or
on
anything
medium.
like that. Yeah. I put it on ours. I use the double burner part, so it's a little quicker. But then I put it on like 4.
Greg's
And-
very distracted right now for some reason.
Yeah. And then it's up to you how many Cheerios you put in it. Once they're melted and you start to stir them up, if you think you want more, just add more Cheerios. They'll bang together when you're stirring them up and everything, and get butter on everything.
So there's the butter in the pan. We're just waiting for that to melt.
Cherries a day keeps the doctor away.
You having some cherries, Craig? Craig likes these. What are they called? Bing cherries?
Yeah, dark sweet cherries. There's a lot of different kinds. I turn it up to 6. As long as you're sitting there and you're never leaving it,
Right.
you
That's
can
the
turn
key.
it up. And I use the whole pan. Once that pan heats up, I just keep rolling it until it melts down. So we can always come back after it melts down.
Craig's emptying the trash.
Yeah, since Craig's doing his
It did
other
need
stuff.
it though.
Yeah. It's kind of cool how the butter makes a pattern.
Nothing more fun than watching butter melt. Craig, what do you think of buttered Cheerios?
They taste delicious and buttery.
Yeah.
Is it one of your favorite not just nighttime snacks?
Yep.
Kind of like having popcorn in the evening.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have buttered Cheerios, don't we?
We have buttered Cheerios probably more than we have popcorn.
Mostly because you make them. We need to make popcorn again. I just always forget about it, honestly. Craig's busy having some more cherries.
One thing I like about when you make the buttered Cheerios is when you leave. When I get the butters melted, I'll turn the heat off when I pour the Cheerios in. But I mix them on here, and it seems like it gets the Cheerios hotter, and it almost brings out a little bit of a more nutty taste to the Cheerios.
Yeah, when I make them, I always like to cook them till they're just a little bit brown.
I don't usually go that far. All right, so that's it. Now we
Craig, are you gonna? You have to stir.
We'll just add some Cheerios in there, just kind of whatever you want. This is where you turn the heat off.
No, I always leave it on. Okay, Craig, do you want to stir them though?
Move those. There you go. Yeah.
As you can see, they're just getting coated with butter.
And that's really all it is. It's just working the butter into the Cheerios. Get over here, buddy. those all down. See, 'cause
I've
you got
often
the-
thought you could
Can I see it for a
almost,
minute?
if you wanted to,
No, stay here.
you could add like garlic to them or something.
Oh, yeah.
Garlic?
We just like them this way, so we've never added anything else.
Let's get the scraper. Yeah, see, we could have almost put in a few more.
And I also, be sure to use butter. Do not
Don't use
use
margarine.
margarine because most margarine has quite a bit of water in it and your Cheerios will be soggy. So my advice is to only use 100% butter when you're making buttered Cheerios.
Yeah.
Or putting butter on popcorn because the other stuff makes it soggy.
But yeah, I usually go till I can't see, and see the butter's pretty much all gone. So you know it's soaked in good.
And you can cook them as long as, just experiment. That's what we've done. Like
That's
I
why
said,
you turn that heat off, and you can just do this until
but when
you
I
see
make
it.
them, of course, it's still hot on an electric
Right,
stove.
right.
But
Yeah, if you're on a gas stove, you
I
definitely-
like them a little brown, but Joe doesn't. He makes them just like his mom made them, I'm
That's
sure.
right. The correct way.
When we first got married, he would always say to me, "That's not the way my mom made it."
Not the way my
So
mom made
I
it.
came up with this saying that things were the Vanderveer way.
Things are better than Vanderveer.
When you're first married, you do not want to tell your wife, "That's not the way my mom made it."
Then she got to where she outcooked my mom on everything, so I didn't have to worry about it.
He just had to get used to my cooking. I was
it.
learning as we went too. And there they are. Easy as that. Buttered Cheerios. They smell so good. Hey Craig, do you want to take try the first bite here?
Tastes buttery.
Nope, not on your shirt.
And you need lots of napkins when you eat these too.
Yeah, everybody needs napkins.
All right, now we just have to get some bowls, right?
Yep.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Papillion. Papillon. Papillon goes to the vet. Papillon goes to the vet. By Ian Kang. Narrated by John Lithgow. Papillion is a very fluffy cat. He can float like a cloud in the sky. He loves to play with his friend. They never tire of playing kung fu air kicks and yawn softball. But catch is their favorite game. One day, something went terribly wrong. Oop. Oh, poor Papillon. He didn't feel well at all. He had hiccups and he wouldn't stop. But the worst thing was, he could no longer float. Miss Tilly rushed him to the kitty clinic to see the vet. Huh? Papillon would have to stay overnight. I will come back tomorrow, I promise. There were other cats at the clinic who were beautiful and very talented. Papillon didn't feel either beautiful or talented. He felt all alone. He just wanted to go home. Crying made his hiccups worse than... Blah. Papillon was so much better, he felt like dancing. So Papillon showed off his dance moves. And his beautiful singing voice, everyone was very impressed. That night, Papillon played with many new friends. He even showed them how to play catch. And the next day, the most amazing kitty Papillons came home. Papillon was happy to play catch with his friend again. But this time, Papillon kept his mouth closed tight. The end. And this is Craig A. Bever saying, keep on having a great day and we'll see you next time.